And we are in the middle of the Ramananda Sambad, chapter 8 of the Madhya Lila. And Mahaprabhu is putting increasing pressure on Ramananda Rai. And Ramananda Rai has spoken of Krishna Tattva, Radha Tattva, and Mahaprabhu is still pushing him. Prabhu ko he ho hoi age ko ho har, Rai ko he iha vai buddhi gatina hiyar. Mahaprabhu said, "This is all right, but please continue." At that time, Rai Ramananda replied, "I don't think my intelligence goes beyond this." Jeba prema vilas vivarta eko hoy, taha shuni tomar sukha hoy ki na hoy. Rai Ramananda then informed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that there was another topic known as prema vilas vivarta. "You may hear of this from me," Ramananda Rai said, "but I do not know whether you will be happy with it or not." Eta boli apan krita gita eka gahilo, preme prabhu swahastetar mukha chadilo. Saying this, Ramananda Rai began to sing a song he had composed. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, out of the ecstasy of love of Godhead, immediately covered Ramananda's mouth with his own hand. And this is Ramananda's song here. Pahile hiraga nayan bange belo, anudin badal avadi nagelo, naso ramana na hamara mani, duhuman manubhav peshala jani. He saki se sa prema kahini, kanutame kahabi vichurala jani, na kunjalu dutina kunjaluan, duhu kere milane madhyato panchabam, absohi virag tuhu beli duti, supuruka premaki aicha naditi. Alas, before we met, there was an initial attachment between us, brought about by an exchange of glances. In this way, attachment evolved. That attachment has gradually grown, and there is no limit to it. Now that attachment has become a natural sequence between ourselves. It is not that it is due to Krishna, the enjoyer, nor is it due to me, for I am the enjoyed. It is not like that. This attachment was made possible by mutual meeting. This mutual exchange of attraction is known as Manobhav, or Cupid. Krishna's mind and my mind have merged together. Now, during this time of separation, it is very difficult to explain these loving affairs. My dear friends, though Krishna might have forgotten all these things, you can understand and bring this message to him. But during our first meeting, there was no messenger between us, nor did I request anyone to see him. Indeed, Cupid's 5 arrows were via media. Now, during this separation, that attraction has increased to another ecstatic state. My dear friend, please act as a messenger on my behalf, because if one is in love with a beautiful person, this is the consequence. Purport. These verses were originally composed and sung by Ramananda Rai himself. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur suggests that during the time of conjugal enjoyment, the attachment might be compared to Cupid himself. However, during the period of separation, Cupid becomes a messenger of highly elevated love. This is called prema vilas vivarta. When there is separation, conjugal enjoyment itself acts like a messenger, and that messenger was addressed by Srimati Radharani as a friend. The essence of this transaction is that transcendental loving affairs are as relishable during separation as during conjugal enjoyment. When Srimati Radharani was fully absorbed in love of Krishna, she mistook a black tamal tree for Krishna and embraced it. Such a mistake is called prema vilas vivarta. And now we have a verse that is included in Rupa Goswami's Ujjvala Nilamani. Dadhaya bhavatas cha chitta jatuni Sweder vilapya krama yunjan ajini kunja kunjara pate nirduta beda brahmam Ch.Ch swayam anvaranjayad iha brahmanda harmyodare Bhuyo bir navaraga hingula barai shingara kadu kriti. O my Lord, you live in the forest of Govardhan Hill, and like the king of elephants, you are expert in the art of conjugal love. O Master of the universe, your heart and Srimati Radharani's heart are just like shellac, and are now melted in your spiritual perspiration. Therefore one can no longer distinguish between you and Srimati Radharani. Now you have mixed your newly invoked affection, which is like vermilion, with your melted hearts, and for the benefit of the whole world you have painted both your hearts red within this great palace of the universe. Prabhu kohe sajyavastar avadiye hoy Tomar prasade iha janilu nishchoy. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu confirmed these verses recited by Sri Ramananda Rai, saying, "This is the limit of the goal of human life. Only by your mercy have I come to understand it conclusively." Sadyavastu sadanvina vinu keho nahi pai Kripa kodi kohodai pabar upai. The goal of life cannot be achieved unless one practices the process. Now, being merciful upon me, please explain that means by which this goal can be attained. Dai kohe je kahao se kohi vani, ki kohi e balomanda kichui na jani. Sri Ramananda Rai replied, "I do not know what I am saying, but you have made me speak what I have spoken, be it good or bad. I am simply repeating that message." Tribhuvan Madhya che hoi kondat dear, je tomar mayanate hoi bekas dear. Within these three worlds, who is so undisturbed that he can remain steady as you manipulate your different energies? Mor mukhe vakta tumi hao shota, atyanta rahasya shuno sadaner kata. Actually, you are speaking through my mouth, and at the same time you are listening. This is very mysterious. Anyway, kindly hear the explanation of the process by which the goal can be attained. Radha Krishna lile ati gudatar dasya vatsa yadi bhavena hoy gochar. The pastimes of Radha and Krishna are very confidential. They cannot be understood through the mellows of servitude, fraternity, or parental affection. Sobek saki ganer iha adhikar, saki hoite hoye dilar vishtar. Actually, only the gopis have the right to appreciate these transcendental pastimes, and only from them can these pastimes be expanded. Saki vinay lila pushtanahi hoy, saki lila vishtariya saki asvadoy. Without the gopis, these pastimes between Radha and Krishna cannot be nourished. Only by their cooperation are such pastimes broadcast. It is their business to taste the mellows. Saki vine lila anyer nahi gati, Saki bhave jetade kode anugati, Radha Krishna kunja seva sadhya se pai, Se sadhya paite adonahi ko pai. Without the help of the gopis, one cannot enter into these pastimes. Only one who worships the Lord in the ecstasy of the gopis, following in their footsteps, can engage in the service of Shri Radha Krishna in the bushes of Vrindavan. Only then can one understand the conjugal love between Radha and Krishna. There is no other procedure for understanding. Quotation from Govinda Lilamrita. Vibhur api sukarupa swaprakasho pibhava Shanam api nahi radha Krishna yadite swa Pravahati rasa pushtim chid vibhutir ivesha Shayati na padam asam ka sakinam rasa gya. The pastimes of Sri Radha and Krishna are self-effulgent. They are happiness personified, unlimited and all-powerful. Even so, the spiritual humors of such pastimes are never complete without the gopis, the Lord's personal friends. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is never complete without his spiritual potencies. Therefore, unless one takes shelter of the gopis, one cannot enter into the company of Radha and Krishna. Who can be interested in their spiritual pastimes without taking their shelter? Sakir sabhave kakatya katan, Krishna saha nijalilai nahi sakir man. There is an inexplicable fact about the natural inclinations of the gopis. The gopis never want to enjoy themselves with Krishna personally. Krishna saha radhika lila je kodai, nija sukha hoite tate koti sukha pai. The happiness of the gopis increases 10 million times when they serve to engage Shri Radha and Krishna in their transcendental pastimes. Radhar Sarup Krishna Prema Kalpalata Saki Gan Hoitar Bala Pushpa Pata. By nature, Srimati Radharani is just like a creeper of love of Godhead, and the gopis are the twigs, flowers, and leaves of that creeper. Krishna Lila Mrita Jadi Lata Ke Sinchoi Nija Sukha Hoite Pala Vajyer Koti Sukha Hoi. When the nectar of Krishna's pastimes is sprinkled on that creeper, the happiness derived by the twigs, flowers, and leaves is 10 million times greater than that derived by the creeper itself. And we have a quotation here from Govinda Lilamrita. Sakya Shri Radhikaya Raja Kumuda Vidur Ladini Nama Shakte Sadamsha Prema Valya Kishalaya Dala Pushpadi Tulya Swatulya Iktayam Krishna Lilamrita Rasa Nichaya Ula Santyam Amushyam Jato Lasa Swa Sekachota Gunam Adikam Santi Yatan Nachicham. All the gopis, the personal friends of Srimati Radharani, are equal to her. Krishna is pleasing to the inhabitants of Braja Bhumi, just as the moon is pleasing to the lotus flower. His pleasure-giving potency is known as Aladini, of which the active principle is Srimati Radharani. She is compared to a creeper with newly grown flowers and leaves. When the nectar of Krishna's pastimes is sprinkled on Srimati Radharani, all her friends, the gopis, immediately appreciate the pleasure 100 times more than if they were sprinkled themselves. Actually, this is not at all wonderful. Yajapi Sakir Krishna Sangame Nahi Man Tatapi Radhika Jatne Kadan Sangam. Although the gopis, Srimati Radharani's friends, do not desire to enjoy themselves directly with Krishna, Srimati Radharani makes a great endeavor to induce Krishna to enjoy himself with the gopis. Nana chole Krishna predi sangam kodai, Atma Krishna sanga hoite koti sukha pai. Presenting various pleas for the gopis, Srimati Radharani sometimes sends the gopis to Krishna just to enable them to associate with him directly. At such times, she enjoys a happiness 10 million times greater than that enjoyed through direct association.
Inconceivable.
Anyanye vishuddha preme kore rasa pushta tasabar prema deki Krishna hoy tushta. The transcendental mellow is nourished by that mutual behavior and transcendental love of Godhead. When Lord Krishna sees how the gopis have developed pure love for him, he becomes very satisfied. Sahaj gopir prem nahe prakrita kam kama krida samyetar kohi kamanam. It is to be noted that the natural characteristic of the gopis is to love the Supreme Lord. Their lusty desire is not to be compared to material lust. Nonetheless, because their desire sometimes appears to resemble material lust, their transcendental love for Krishna is sometimes described as lust. Premaiva gopa ramanam kama ityagamat pratam ityuddha vadayopyetam vanchanti bhagavat priya. Although the dealings of the gopis with Krishna are on the platform of pure love of Godhead, such dealings are sometimes considered to be lusty. But because they are completely spiritual, Uddhava and all the other dearmost devotees of the Lord desire to participate in them. Nijendriya sukha hetu kamer tatparja Krishna sukha tatparja gopi bhava varja. Lusty desires are experienced when one is concerned with his own personal sense gratification. The mood of the gopis is not like that. Their only desire is to satisfy the senses of Krishna. Nijendriya sukha vansha nahi gopikar Krishna sukha dite kore sangam vihar. Among the gopis, there is not a pinch of desire for sense gratification. Their only desire is to give pleasure to Krishna, and this is why they mingle with him and enjoy with him. Yat te sujata charanam buruham staneshu Pita shanai priya dadi mahi karkasheshu tena tivim atasi tad vyatatena kimsvit kurpadi bir brahmati dir bhagavad ayushamna. All the gopis said, Dear Krishna, we carefully hold your delicate lotus feet upon our hard breasts. When you walk in the forest, your soft lotus feet are pricked by small pieces of stone. We fear that this is paining you. Since you are our life and soul, our minds are very much disturbed when your lotus feet are pained. Se gopi bhavamrite jalo bahoy Veda dharma lok tyaji se Krishna bhajai. One who is attracted by that ecstatic love of the gopis does not care about popular opinion or the regulative principles of Vedic life. Rather, he completely surrenders unto Krishna and renders service unto him. Raganuga marge tade bhaje je jan se jan pai braje brajendra nandan. If one worships the Lord on the path of spontaneous love and goes to Vrindavan, he receives the shelter of Brajendra Nandan, the son of Nanda Maharaj. Brajaloker kon bhav loya je bhaje, bhava jogja deha paya Krishna pai braje, In his liberated stage, the devotee is attracted by one of the 5 rasas in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. As he continues to serve the Lord in that transcendental mood, he attains a spiritual body to serve Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. Tahate Jishtanta Upanishad Shutigan Ragamarge Bhaji Pailo Brajendra Nandan. Those saintly persons who represent the Upanishads are vivid examples of this. By worshipping the Lord on the path of spontaneous love, they attain the lotus feet of Brajendra Nandan, the son of Nanda Maharaj. And we have a quotation from Bhagavatam. Nibrita madun mano kshadridda yoga yujo hridiyan unayu pasate tadadayo piyayu smaranat Shriya uragendra boga buja danda vishakta diyo vayam api te sama samajisho ungri saroja suda. Great sages conquer the mind and senses by practicing the mystic yoga system and controlling the breath. Thus engaging in mystic yoga, they see the supersoul within their hearts and ultimately enter into impersonal Brahman. But even the enemies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead attain that position simply by thinking of the Supreme Lord. However, the damsels of Braja, the gopis, being attracted by the beauty of Krishna, simply wanted to embrace him and his arms, which are like serpents. Thus the gopis ultimately tasted the nectar of the lotus feet of the Lord. Similarly, we Upanishads can also taste the nectar of his lotus feet by following in the footsteps of the gopis. So this is a little related to what you were asking last night, Kat, about the Paramatma. The Paramatma is actually it's not an eternal feature of the Lord. It is like kind of like one example Srila Swami Maharaj gives. What was it? I think the example he used, it was something like a police inspector or a security guard at a country fair, at a fair. You know, like they have, it's some temporary manifestation. This world is a temporary manifestation, and so like this guard is there, like to oversee, like something like that. So once the soul is liberated, if the soul, receives that grace to enter the divine eternal pastimes, then the super soul withdraws. It has no duty anymore. So for the Vaishnavas, the Paramatma is not a focal point. We there's one talk where Srila Sridhar Maharaj, it's Srila Sridhar Maharaj speaking in a way that only he can speak. Like he says, Paramatma. I think it was in response to a question about Paramatma, and he says, we just get like these glimpses of how he's seeing things, and he's like, Paramatma, little higher than Atma, like. and he was saying, the Vaishnav, is much higher than Paramatma, the Sadguru. I mean, I'm talking about like real Vaishnava, Srila Gurudev made that comment how, somebody gave him some prasadam of Nrsingadev, and Gurudev said, we are taking because we are afraid of Nrsingadev. And he said, but Guru Maharaj would not take. And then he said, Nrsingadev is afraid of Guru Maharaj. Because, think about it, in relation to, Brajendra, Nanda, and Krishna of Vrindavan, in relation to Mahaprabhu, Gauranga Sundar, then who is Nrsingadev? And who is Srila Sridhar Maharaj? What is the Rupanuga Guvarga? They are connected directly to that highest plane of reality. So, so who is living in the heart of such Vaishnavas as Srila Govinda Maharaj and Srila Sridhar Maharaj, that Brajendra Nanda and Krishna, that Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Dev, they are shining very brightly within their hearts. So their position is therefore, higher than Paramatma, or in a sense we can say, as Gurudev indicated there, than another manifestation of the Lord Himself. So, we will carefully discuss such things, but that angle of vision is there. So, it is the yogis, they are putting great attention to the Paramatma, but for the Vaishnavas, Brahma, Paramatma, they are not, it is like a kind of like knowing of their existence is knowing like how the house is running, like knowing how the plumbing is working, kind of like that, But it is not a focal point for us. Samajisha shabde kohe sebave anugati, samashabde kohe shutir gopideho prapti. The word samajisha, mentioned in the 4th line of the previous verse, means following the mood of the gopis. The word sama means the Shruti's attainment of bodies like those of the gopis. Because this previous verse, it is spoken by the personified Vedas, the Shrutis. They are aspiring for this type of seva that the gopis have. Angri Padma Sudaya Kohe Krishna Sangananda. And it is mentioned in one place that because these personified Vedas, the Shrutis, they aspired for that connection with Krishna, following in the footsteps of the Braja Gopis, and it is mentioned that they were successful, because that is the only way to approach Krishna. Whereas, by contrast, it is mentioned about Lakshmi, that Lakshmi Devi herself, although she performed austerities for hundreds of years, aspiring for that kind of connection with Krishna, she was unsuccessful. And why? It is said because she did not approach through the gopis of Vrindavan, through the Sakis, and not following in their mood and their line, but maintaining that mood of Aishwarya, of opulence, of majesty. And in that way it is not possible. So these previous verses that we heard, there's one or two there that are particularly well known, stating that it is only possible to enter such pastimes, having taken shelter of the Sakis of Vrindavan. The word Angri Padma Sudha means associating intimately with Krishna. And, how does that translate as something meaningful for us in our little stage? Well, in a general sense, in the shelter of the Vaishnavas, in the shelter of superior Vaishnavas. That will always be our line, our path. The word Angri Padma Sudha means associating intimately with Krishna. One can attain such perfection only by spontaneous love of God. One cannot obtain Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan simply by serving the Lord according to regulative principles. And now we have a quotation from Bhagavatam spoken by Shukadeva Goswami. It appears within a passage in which he glorifies Mother Yashoda and other devotees of Krishna by describing how they can subjugate him with their love. Nayam sukapa bhagavan dehinam gopika suta Jnaninam chatma bhutanam yata bhakti matam iha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, the son of Mother Yashoda, is accessible to those devotees engaged in spontaneous loving service. But he is not as easily accessible to mental speculators, to those striving for self-realization by severe austerities and penances, or to those who consider the body the same as the self. Ataiva gopi bhav kori angikar, rachi din chinte radha krishna vihar. Therefore one should accept the mood of the gopis in their service. In such a transcendental mood, one should always think of the pastimes of Shri Radha and Krishna. And this instruction, we can add, is not for us. This is for the, higher level Vaishnavas. Siddhadehe chinti kore tahai sevan saki bhave pai Radha Krishna charam. After thinking of Radha and Krishna and their pastimes for a long time, and after getting completely free from material contamination, one is transferred to the spiritual world. There the devotee attains an opportunity to serve Radha and Krishna as one of the gopis. I'll just read some of this purport. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur comments that the word Siddha Deha, perfected spiritual body, refers to a body beyond the material gross body composed of 5 elements and the subtle astral body composed of mind, intelligence, and false ego. In other words, one attains a completely spiritual body fit to render service to the transcendental couple, Radha and Krishna. So this is the difference between sahajiyas and real devotees on the path. That they think, the sahajiyas, the imitationists, they think that in their current gross body, we're in the consciousness of identifying with their minds, their body, and their senses, they are able to engage in such high seva. Whereas the real followers of the path, they understand first one has to attain this siddha deha, this pure spiritual body, and in that body they can render such service, not before. When one is situated in his spiritual body, which is beyond this gross and subtle material body, he is fit to serve Radha and Krishna. That body is called Siddha Deha. The living entity attains a particular type of gross body in accordance with his past activities and mental condition. In this life, the mental condition changes in different ways. But the same living entity gets another body in the next life according to his desires. The mind, intelligence, and false ego are always engaged in an attempt to dominate material nature. According to that subtle astral body, one attains a gross body to enjoy the objects of one's desires. According to the activities of the present body, one prepares another subtle body, and according to the subtle body, one attains another gross body. This is the process of material existence. However, when one is spiritually situated and does not desire a gross or subtle body, he attains his original spiritual body. One is elevated to the spiritual world by the spiritual body and is situated either in Goloka Vrindavan or in another Vaikuntha planet. In the spiritual body, there are no longer material desires, and one is fully satisfied by rendering service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Radha and Krishna. When the spiritual body, mind, and senses are completely purified, one can render service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his consort. In the spiritual body, free from material contamination, one can serve Radha, Krishna, and Lakshmi Narayan. When one is thus spiritually situated, he no longer thinks of his own personal sense gratification. This spiritual body is called Siddha Deha, the body by which one can render transcendental service unto Radha and Krishna. The process is that of engaging the transcendental senses in loving devotional service. Gopi anugatya vina aishvarja jnane bhajileho nahi pai brajendra nandane. Unless one follows in the footsteps of the gopis, he cannot attain the service of the lotus feet of Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj. If one is overcome by knowledge of the Lord's opulence, he cannot attain the Lord's lotus feet, even though he is engaged in devotional service. So this Aishvarja Gyan, which is, has its place in Vaikuntha, but does not have its place in Vrindavan, the awareness of the Lord's divinity. Tahate jishtanta lakshmi korilo bhajan, tatapina pailo bhaje bhajendra nandan. The unspoken example in this connection is the goddess of fortune, who worshipped Lord Krishna in order to attain his pastimes in Vrindavan. But due to her opulent lifestyle, she could not attain the service of Krishna in Vrindavan. And now we have quotation from Bhagavatam. Nayam Shriyo Anga Unitantarate Prasada Svaryoshitam Nalina Gandarucham Kutonya Lasotsavesya Bhujadanda Grihita Kanta Labdashisham Yaudagad Rajasundarinam. When Lord Krishna was dancing with the gopis and the Rasa Leela, the gopis were embraced around the neck by the Lord's arms. This transcendental favor was never bestowed upon the goddess of fortune or the other consorts in the spiritual world, nor was such a thing ever imagined by the most beautiful girls in the heavenly planets, girls whose bodily luster and aroma resemble the beauty and fragrance of lotus flowers. And what to speak of worldly women, who may be very, very beautiful according to material estimation.
I think you just read that Lakshmi Devi, she is trying to obtain Goloka Vrindavan, but she cannot gain entry in it because of her opulent lifestyle.
Well,
A few shows ago, there was a quote that she's going through a lot of austerities, but still she cannot get there. How the austerities and opulent lifestyle can coexist?
The opulent lifestyle is that's not exactly what it says in the Bengali. It's just that's like an idiomatic expression that Srila Swami Maharaj has put in there. The point is that she is in the mood of Aishvarja. The point is that she has the Vaikuntha mood of Aishvarja, of there's that majesty. Okay, opulent lifestyle, but the point is she has that mood of majesty, and she did not. She was not able to set that mood aside and approach Krishna in the mood of the Braja Gopis, in the mood, in that sweetness and simplicity that is characteristic of Vrindavan.
You could think of the word lifestyle as being style of life rather than a particular way of living, if that makes sense. Like an opulent style of consciousness.
Oh, it's a mood, let's say.
This is what I mean.
Yeah.
You were saying also that Srimati Radharani, she enjoys even more when the other gopis enjoy with Krishna, because for Krishna's enjoyment she forgets herself about, like, I'm engaged in this. She's so focused on Krishna's enjoyment to have others also participating, and that she enjoys even more to see others, that there's others with Krishna. Is that a point?
That is a point that is mentioned here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Lakshmi Devi, she wants to go directly to have that association, that engagement with Krishna, right? And Srimati Radharani, she wants to for Krishna's enjoyment, she wants others to have that.
We have to be careful to dissect all these things.
Yeah.
Lakshmi Devi, she is a worshipable goddess, the Lord's beloved consort, and ultimately she is an expansion of Srimati Radharani. So, I don't really want to dissect this any further, but I think, the point here is clear enough that, she has a mood of Aishvarya, of opulence, of majesty, and that is not compatible with the mood of Vrindavan. And no, I don't see any incompatibility in someone who has that style or mood of Aishwarya to set that aside to engage in austerity for some time. They're still maintaining that inner tendency. So, there's examples of kings who have done that. So I don't feel that is there's any issue there. Okay. Well, it is 8 o'clock, but it has gone by very quickly. That is the end of their main discussion, and then they have some question and answer session. So I think we can stop there. We'll just complete. Itta shuni prabhutade koilo alingan dui jane gola goli koden krandan. After hearing this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced Ramananda Rai, and both of them, embracing shoulder to shoulder, began to cry. Ematta prema veshe rachi goaila pratakale nija nija karjedu hegela. The entire night was passed in this way, in ecstatic love of Godhead. In the morning they both departed to tend to their respective duties. Viday samoye prabhur charane dodiya, Ramananda Rai kohe vinati koriya. Before departing from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Ramananda Rai fell to the ground and caught hold of the Lord's lotus feet. He then spoke submissively as follows. Ore kripa korite tomai hawagaman, din dash rohi shoda mor dushtaman. Sri Ramananda Rai said, "You have come here just to show me your causeless mercy. Therefore stay here for at least 10 days and purify my polluted mind." Tomavina anyanahi jiva udadite, tomavina anyanahi Krishna prema dite. But for you there is no one who can deliver all the living entities. for you alone can deliver love of Krishna. Prabhu koi hai lao shuni tomara gun, Krishna kata shuni shuddha koraite man. The Lord replied, having heard about your good qualities, I have come here. I have come to hear about Krishna from you, and thus purify my mind. Yaiche shunilo taiche dekilo tomar mahima, Radha Krishna prema rasa gyane tu misima. Now that I have actually seen your glories, what I heard about you is confirmed. As far as the pastimes of Radha and Krishna in a loving mood are concerned, you are the limit of knowledge. Doshti kakata javatami jibo, tavatoma sangha charite naribo. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, to say nothing of 10 days, as long as I live, I shall find it impossible to give up your company. Nilachole tumi ami takibo eka sange suke goaibo kalo Krishna katarange. You and I shall remain together at Jagannath Puri. We shall pass our time together in joy, talking about Krishna and his pastimes. Etta boli duhe nija nija karje gela, sanja kale rai puna asya milila. In this way they both departed to perform their respective duties. Then in the evening, Ramananda Rai returned to see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, so we can stop there. And then they have very nice question and answer. Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai, Shri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami ki Jai. Do you want to sing Krishna? Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha. Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopa Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana. Giridhari Gopinata Madana Mohana. Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra. Yadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha. Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha. Echai Gosai Kori Charana Vandana. Jaha hoite bigna nasha bishta purana. Echai gosai jamui tadadasa. Tansabara pada renu mura panchagrasa. Tajira charana sebi bhakta sanivasa. Janame janam Ch.Ch Gosai Jabe Braja Koilo Basa Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Kodila Prakasha Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavana Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majaya Mana Shri Guru Vaishnava Pada Padma Kodiyasha Hari Nam Sankirtana Kore Narottama Dasa Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Jai Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajaka Varya Ashtotar Satashisha Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajaka Varya Ashtotar Satashisha Bhakti Rakshak Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Shila Bhakti Nirmala Charja Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai Namacharja Shila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Giridhari Ju Ki Jai Saprashad Shima Mahaprabhu Ki Jai Shri Navadip Dham Ki Jai Shri Ganga Jamuna Ki Jai Shri Bhakti Devi Vrinda Devi Tulasi Devi Ki Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Shamakun Radha Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai Shri Kol Karta Ki Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai Vishwavyapi Tadiya Shakamat Ki Jai all the assembled devotees Ki Jai all the world devotees Ki Jai Shri Hari Nam Sankirtan Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande
Hari Hari Bol.
Vishakha Devidasi ki